Welcome back in, folks. I'm joined here by Noel Bonam with AARP of Maine, the state director, if I'm correct there.
Correct, yep.
Thank you for joining us. We've had this organization on, multiple times. There's always so many great things to talk about. The organization works on so many different things, and you all have made no secret of the fact that it's time to honor your volunteers. And so there's a special award coming up, and there's a nomination process. So tell us about how that works.
I think you nailed it when you said that we'd like to recognize our volunteers. AARP depends on volunteers. Most of the work that we do is done by volunteers across the state. Mm-hmm. And there are a variety of ways one could volunteer with us. And once a year, we recognize a volunteer for being a role model, for being the kind of volunteer who really puts civic engagement at the forefront and inspires other people to do the same. Mm-hmm. And the award is called the Andrus Award. Every state gets to pick one volunteer who is recognized as the Andrus Award awardee for that year. Okay. And right now we have the nomination process open, and the one may nominate themselves or nominate someone else that they know till July 15th when we close nominations and start reviewing the nominations.
Now, is it just AARP members and volunteers that can vote for the winner, or is it a public-facing activity? So who decides? Okay,
so in terms of who decides, it's a review panel that we select, and it's volunteers. Mm-hmm. They're all volunteers as well. We like for volunteers to decide if someone's worthy of the award. But who can be nominated? It could be anyone. Okay. They just have to be 50 and older. Okay. And they have to be a Maine resident. Mm-hmm. And they could be a volunteer with any organization. They don't have to have had volunteered for AARP. Mm-hmm. They could be from any part of the state, as long as they feel like whoever is nominating them feel like they're really doing an amazing job as a volunteer, giving their time, selflessly to support the community and the neighborhood or the state.
So it could be just a community hero that folks feel should be singled out for some recognition.
Correct, yes.
Alrighty. How do folks go about nominating? Is that something they can do online at the website, or how does that work? Yeah.
Correct. They could nominate someone on the website. They could do it at aarp.org/Maine. Okay. And right at the main page, you'll actually find the nomination process, the web page for it.
Well, that's exciting.
And then you just go on there, and it's a very easy nomination process. Okay. And it's a fun exercise also, because I've read so many of these over the years, and it's fun to see how people really recognize what others are doing for their communities, for the state. Yeah. And there's very unique examples of how they notice that this person just made that little difference or this big difference in someone's life, and just by being themselves and wanting to help. Yeah,
well, we love to see that kind of action rewarded. Very, very quickly, how can folks volunteer for AARP? What are the types of duties that one might engage in as a volunteer, just quickly before we wrap?
Awesome, sure. Yeah. So one may volunteer with AARP through multiple ways, and you could be an advocacy volunteer and show up at the State House every Tuesday while the legislature is on. That's a fun way to kind of really speak up on behalf of other older adults. And you can be a volunteer of any age. You don't have to be of a certain age to volunteer with AARP.
Okay, that's important to know.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And you could write letters. You could host kitchen table chats at your home and invite your lawmaker, your local lawmaker. I think in Maine we're really fortunate that we have such close access, such good access to our lawmakers. Yeah. We're congressional delegates. You were talking about Senator Collins earlier, and any of our members of Congress. It's so easy to actually connect with them in our state. Similarly with state legislators, so you could be an advocacy volunteer. You could run a coffee talk in your neighborhood once a month in your town. You could write letters to other older adults, to help address social isolation. You could participate in a walking group, a runner walking group where you are. So the opportunities are multiple.
Yeah, and they're varied for sure.
Very, depending on what you're interested in. If you're someone who's very extroverted and want to be out there,
Yeah.
we have something for you. But if you're very introverted and you want to do something behind the scenes, we definitely have something for you. So we have something for everyone.
All right, well, so folks can head to the website for more information on that and how to connect. We thank you so much for your time, Noel. It was great to speak with you, and looking forward to seeing who's nominated and who wins.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, folks, stay with us. The extended forecast is coming up.